Hello and welcome to episode 10 of my Mindset Tips series. Remember, this is not a sports psychology course. It's a collection of individual tips that can be used to improve performance. In fact, don't think of them as sports psychology tips, think of them as performance psychology tips. And they can be used in business, in academia, in any performance art like musicians or acting. On the screen at the moment are the 4 tips that I'm going to be talking about in this episode, along with the times that they start. Down the bottom are YouTube's chapter dividers, and in the text description are quick jump links. Those 3 things mean that you can jump directly to any of the tips that interest you the most. So, without further talking, let's get started. Tip number 37. All of these tips are primarily designed for amateur club players. So I'm not talking to professional sports people here. I'm talking to people who just play their sport as a hobby. And tip number 37 is every now and again, sit down and consciously remind yourself why you perform what you're performing, like acting, for example, amateur dramatics, or why you play your sport. And it might sound like obvious. Well, I obviously enjoy it because I keep playing it. But no, that's not always true. We often just do something because it's a habit. We play squash once a week because we always play squash once a week. Or we play tennis, every Sunday afternoon, for example. But you need to recognize that there's a reason for doing these things, and it shouldn't just be habit, it should be because you enjoy it. Now, as an amateur, you'll probably find days when you don't want to do any training. You'll find days when you don't really want to play. Of course, that's true with professionals, but the response to that situation is a little bit different. You should remember that you play sport for fun, for enjoyment, and sometimes the drudgery of having to play in the, when you're not playing very well and, you're not seeming to enjoy it, sit down and say, I play this sport because I love it. I do this activity because I love it. And I have to recognize that there are days when it's not going to go the way I want it to. And there are days when it's absolutely fantastic. And it's those days that I hope to have more and more of. So that's the tip. It might sound like a strange tip, but you do need to consciously remind yourself of why you do that activity and how much you enjoy it and what benefit you get from it. So that was tip 37. Tip 38 is very closely linked to tip 37, and its research has shown that smiling has shown to reduce stress and anxiety. Now, I'm not asking you to just walk around all day, no problem, the place is on fire, no, it's all fine. No, I'm not asking you to do that, just like in the meme. What I'm asking you to do is when you're on court or you're in a situation where you are feeling stressful, just try to relax your face, because smiling apparently uses less muscles than frowning, and smile. Now, especially after you've had a really long rally, because after you've had a really long rally in squash, the first thing you want to do is normally lean forward and trying to get some air into your lungs. And you grimace. It's a hard rally. Whoa. No, smile. I don't want you to become a Buddha and just smile in every situation. But if you look across at your opponent and you see that they're smiling, that kind of has an effect on you. You think, oh my gosh, I'm really struggling here. I'm really working hard, and he or she's just smiling. So it can help you feeling, you can, release some of the stress or the anxiety that you're feeling because of the situation or because you're working so hard. And it can also make your opponent feel that they're not getting to you. They're not having the effect on your mentality that they were hoping for, or even your physicality when you don't seem so tired. So try and stand upright, try and have a smile on your face, not too extreme, but you will find that you'll feel better about the activity, especially if it's a very difficult or hard activity. So that was tip 38. Smile. Tip 39. Every single match you play that is not part of a competition should be used to improve one aspect of your game. Now, I'm not talking about when you are playing solo work or you're doing drills, because those are clearly for improving, whether that's a physical, whether that's a skill thing, or even a mentality skill, as in shot selection. What I'm talking about is when you play games, maybe club nights or something like this, don't worry about winning every single point. Don't worry about beating people that you normally beat. Worry about improving, because you only have to worry about winning when you play competitions, when you play tournament matches, when you play league matches, or if you're playing for money, okay, maybe that's a different thing, but I'm not talking about gambling. Get on court and have a clear goal. Today, I'm going to be working on my straight drives. Today, I'm going to be working on my shot selection. I'm going to be working on my hesitancy. I get too hesitant at the front. I need to be more committed. Choose something. It doesn't really matter what it is, fitness or anything, but say that today's game, I'm going to come off and feel as though I've improved. Maybe I didn't win. Okay, well, that's fine, because in the long term, winning is about improving. You can win. Win Ugly was a very famous book about making sure that you win rather than play well. But you're an amateur. You want to have fun. And I honestly think that 99% of amateurs have more fun when they play well than just when they win. Sure, we all want to win. Of course we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't play any kind of competitive sport. We'd just say to your opponent, come on, let's just play. We'll play points, but we're not even going to score it. Sure, you want to win, but the chances are you're going to win more when you play better. And you play better when you use the practice games to improve, not just to be playing games with no other objective than winning. Okay, so tip 39. Make sure every time you go on court that you're not playing a competitive match, you're consciously working on improving some aspect of your game. Tip number 40. When heating up for a match, do not neglect the mental aspect. Now remember, I'm always promoting the idea of heating up, not warming up. Even very experienced coaches always talk about warm up, and I really think that that's a mistake. You need to be sweating before you even hit the ball. So when you're heating up, don't neglect the mental aspect. Don't just be chatting with your teammates or your friend or whatever. Focus. You're not a machine. You can't be very happy and jovial outside and, oh yeah, did you see the football match? I was, and then suddenly when you walk on court, as if you can flip a switch, you can't do that. Just like you can't suddenly walk on court and be hot and ready. It's a mental process. It's a physical process. And what you need to be doing is you need to find what works for you. You often see people with headphones. Maybe they're listening to music that motivates and inspires them. Like, for example, I always loved the music from the Terminator. This idea of I'm a machine and I'm just going to do what I wanted to do. It worked for me. Not saying it's going to work for you. Maybe they're listening to their coach or other person talking about inspiring them or their game plan. Other people maybe just like to clear their mind. Some people like to think about the game plan. That works for me too. What is my goal in this match? Yes, winning, but how? Don't think about what you want. Think about how you're going to get it. I've talked about, thinking about the process, not the outcome many, many times. So heating up is not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing. And you consciously have to experiment with a few different ideas or techniques to see what is suitable for you. And remember, what is suitable for you in some situations might not be suitable for you in others. Now, I talked about you shouldn't be too jovial, but if that really does work for you, great. I'm very happy for that. I don't want to prescribe my ideas onto you, but make sure that you've tried other ways as well. And if you do find that the best way is to completely forget about the match and just be relaxed, great. I'm happy for you. But make sure that you've experimented with a few different ideas before you just take what I think is generally the easy option, because we don't really want to focus or we don't know what we should be doing. So let me summarize very quickly. You could be listening to music if it inspires you. You could be listening to people talking if that's what inspires you, perhaps a coach or somebody, a mentor. You could be thinking about your game plan. What is it you're going to do? How are you going to react to possibly certain situations? Or you could be thinking about nothing, like the Buddhist approach. Well, that was episode 10 of the Mindset Tips. I hope you enjoyed them. If you've got any comments, please post them in the comments section. Up here is a collection of all of the other Mindset Tips videos, and down here is a video that YouTube thinks is a good fit for you based on what you've been watching. And this is a subscription button. If and only if you think my content is useful, please consider subscribing. And remember, do something every single day to improve your squash. See ya.